Hello and welcome back to the Tuesday's vlog. It's my second attempt. This phone keeps deciding to freeze. Yeah, another weekend gone, just like that. I have had my phone looked at for a few problems I've been having. So, if I do happen to get a replacement phone over the next few weeks, just be prepared that obviously there might be the odd week I'll probably have to miss. Because if any of you have an iPhone, you'll know until you get everything recalibrated back on, they're a nightmare. So I just thought I would add that one in there. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. To be honest, for me, it's just been a kids' weekend. Had them out Saturday, Sunday and Monday. Livy at nursery yesterday. I picked my son up yesterday as well. Took him out for tea. A place called Porky's at Blythe, I recommend. So yeah, went to look at another potential project. But as you know, when you look at something on pictures and you see it in real life, don't know. But I am considering something else, and I can guarantee not a single one of you will be able to guess it unless I start giving clues. But I still need to consider it first. But definitely something unusual. But yeah, I just want to quickly run through because we need to get on with just what we've got in today. Got the old girl in. I think I showed you this. I don't know if I know if I put this on the end of Friday's vlog, which I haven't uploaded yet. But as I've said, this is going to storage probably next week or the week after. And that's just a few of these scabs. We know how bad it is, which are like blisters. They're just filling with a bit of moisture. So I'm just going to take the main ones back. Not too much, because I don't want to be on with it too long. I've just marked a few little bits. That's just red pen, just to tidy up on it before it sits. I'm going to be checking it, because where it is, it's quite near the coast. It's quite near, it's a bit off. And I'm just wanting to check that it doesn't get too bad. If it does, with the more kind of salt in the air where it's going to be parked, I may have to bring it back home over the winter at some point. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to obviously have to monitor it every month or so. But the main thing was, like I mentioned, is this engine's been serviced to death by the previous owner and us doing it. Mechanically wise, I can't see it being much. If anything, I don't know enough about these engines, if the hydraulic lifters or the manual adjusters for the valve clearances, I don't know. But recently, the odd time when I first started up, it's got a slight little top end tap, but it goes off after a few minutes or so. So the only thing I can think of is, you get this, don't get us wrong, these lotions and potions, but this thing takes about 12 litres of oil. There's no reason I need to change it, because it's like brand new. So it's nothing to do with, I think it's just lack of use, or just the amount it stands, and then gets like hard work with a tone. Not really hard for this kind of vehicle, but you get this stuff, hydraulic valve lifter treatment. I'm just going to bang it in, let it run for a bit before it goes to storage and that, and just see what happens. Like I've mentioned, it's a disposable vehicle. I have got a bit of money put to one side from when I sold my truck. So if it ever did go bang, then unfortunately, yeah, I would lose quite a bit of money that I've put into it. But it doesn't owe us a great deal. It'd be an absolute damn bloody shame if someone did go bang on the engine. It's only got 105,000 mile on or something, so, and like I've mentioned, it's had services every 1,000 mile for flipping God knows how many decades, when it was, like kind of with the ex-customer, Pat, she sometimes wasn't even doing 1,000 mile and it was getting full services. So I'm confident it should, at worst case, just need to take one of the rocker covers off and check and adjust the valve clearances. So yeah, that's for that. This one of our good customers, I think he watches the channel now. This used to be, again, I think I've spoken to you about this car. I remember going with my mum and dad in 2011/into 12 to buy this car, brand spanking new. And that's worrying now to say that was, 2011? It's, more than 10 years ago now. Cracking little engines. These were the very first, the dual VVTIs. Kind of getting into the Euro 5 lines for petrols. So yeah, great little cars. This is one of the first that Toyota did with this TomTom sat-nav in it. And that actual piece pops out. So you can, I don't know why you would want to remove it, but it's a genuine Toyota head unit with a genuine TomTom sat-nav. So yeah, this is the nice one. I think it's a T-Spirit or something. Yeah, so it's the nice spec. So yeah, years gone by. This is just in for service and I think MOT. I'm lost in track with what that many cars sat outside. Either way, it's definitely service and possibly MOT. This is actually not until tomorrow, I think, and he's just dropped it off. I don't know if it's in the day. I can't remember which one it was. This is just a basic MOT. Quite a nice colour, actually. A bit different, but I think it's just, yeah, I could live with that. I like it. And I quite like these Focuses, especially this one. It's the 1600 petrol, non-eco boost, Z-Tech, run forever. Not particularly good on fuel, but not particularly got loads of power, but just a very, very good engine in them, and a very good car, actually. I won't pull these to bits. Good cars. Got the Sprinter. Bit of a problem with the tyres. They're not coming until Thursday, but luckily the guy is back on Thursday, but he's not working, so we'll get them sorted then. It stood all weekend, and thankfully, no damp down there up to now, but it hasn't really been run, so we're going to check that. I've got the pipe off for now. I need to recheck the oil, recheck the power steering fluid, and then probably take it for a little drive, give it a test drive, just to see what it's like. This, I think I showed you this. No, I didn't. This was on the week my dad was off, and it come in. I'll show you it when it's on the lift. I have never seen a car so bad as this ever, for ball joints and stuff. They are practically hanging off. There's a burst back shocker, which I'm hoping we can get through the wheel arch. And the track rod end at this side is practically hanging out, and possibly the ball joint, and the bottom ball joint at the other side is also knackered. And we're hoping to just change the joints and leave the arms to save the woman some money, which I've got, but we'll just have to see how they release and how things go. We've also got this in, a Seat something. I kind of lost interest a bit in all of the new VAG range, because it's just all very much of a likeness and pointlessness. Like, what is this? It's like an Ibiza with 5-door Ibiza with the suspension pumped up and bigger wheels. Why? What's the point? I don't know. I don't know. Begin to lose a little bit of interest in them. Like, this like X something. I don't even know what the hell it's called. Corona. Don't even like the name, to be honest. Brink tow bar on this. It's got the old kind of sports lifestyle look to it, you know, like the roof bars for the bikes and the tow bar and that. And it's probably just some little piddly little 1.2 or something, some 3-cylinder nonsense. If it had something interesting under the bonnet, I'll probably say yeah. But again, on the inside, just what's the word? Meh. Just a bit meh. Just doesn't kind of. I mean, if you know my Seat, I forgot what it's called now. Bloody, my mind's gone. The XL one that I had, the people carrier with the 200 brake. Crikey, my mind's gone blank. That's what it was. I had to pause it there. My Seat. That was what it was. My Seat Altea XL. That was a 2010 plate car, and this is just more or less exactly the same stuff, if not like even more old looking. Yeah, it's got that fancy screen on it, but just black plastic. Nah, not for me. But anyways, there'll be nothing fancy in the lights. I think it's a pretty lowly spec thing, this. But I'm saying lowly spec, 69 plate cars, you're talking probably pushing 20 grand still. Somewhere around there at least anyway. And there you go. Your 3-cylinder. Is it the turbo one? Oh god, I hope it is a turbo one. Otherwise it'll be seriously flat. A little 3-cylinder 1.2 thing. Let's have a look there. I think there's a turbo down there. Yeah, turbocharged 3-cylinder 1.2. Enough said. Nah. I know everybody wants economy and stuff like that, but if you want economy, you go out and spend £1,500 on a shit box, basically. I wouldn't want to go out and spend 20 grand on a little shaken 3-cylinder. What's the word? Just like that. I just class them as a car. A car. That to me is just a car. It's got nothing interesting about it. What would possibly ever make me want to spend like 20 grand on it? Like that's just a white van. It's just what it is. It's a Mercedes Sprinter. That's just a white van. That's just a red car. No more. So anyways, that's in for service and MOT. Again, all the specialist green 020 oil that you need in them. Otherwise, the engines blow up, basically, because they burn loads of oil. So yeah, that's it. Up and out. I need to crack on because I want to get the levels checked on this Sprinter. Get that one off. Get the Focus on the lift and start with this Arona. And get on with this Megane later on this afternoon, and that is a car I'm considering going to look at. And I'm a bit worried, guys, that yous are going to hate me for buying it, but I don't know if a lot of yous might like it. It's one of those cars, until you've driven one, don't make a comment. And not many of yous have driven one, I bet you. It's maybe I'm thinking about it for a little bit of advertising for the garage, advertising for the channel, and it's quite eye-catching and a very handy little vehicle to have. And that's all I'm leaving it at. I may give you more clues later on this week. Catch you soon when I get on with this. But remember, I'm that busy, as you can see. It might just be put in like that, you know, like little bits, snippets here and there. I'm sorry if you want to see more involvement, but as you can see, I need to crack on. So I'll catch you soon. Right guys, it's nearly 5 o'clock. Sorry, I wanted to show a bit more of what went on today, but unfortunately I couldn't. It's just been horrendously busy. This Arona thing ended up needing the tyres done, which pushed us really close to me time for getting in for me slot to do my MOT. So that had the front tyres done. These are a really good tyre, these Coleman's, I will say. They've got a cracking tread pattern on them, and according to the guys at the tyre shop, at least anyway, they're manufactured by some big company like Michelin or something, which I can quite believe. So it needed them done. I wanted to just point something out on this, but I forgot to pick the keys up. I'll come back to this at the end. The van, I haven't even touched it. It's stood there since this morning. Haven't even had a chance. So what my plan is with this, I'm going to actually... the garage is full tonight because this is staying in. I'm going to take it home because it needs to have a quick run and then stand for a day or two once it's ran properly, and check for the leak. Tyres are coming in on Thursday, getting them done Thursday morning. So as for this, I'm going to let it run for a bit, stick that pipe on, take it for a test drive the night, and then take it home and leave it at home until Thursday, and then go and get the tyres on when they come in. But again, I'll show you that isn't nothing that's been leaking. Believe it or not, it was just raining before. It's just water that's ran off the van. But there's definitely nothing I can see as of yet. But it hasn't been ran properly, hasn't been ran up the load, like, you know, like up the temperature and stuff. So we shall see with that. Like I said, this again just hasn't even been touched. I'm just having a quick look around. The brakes were new last year, so they're not too bad. They've just been standing. Literally this still just needs to go up on the lift and look at, but these focuses, touch wood, aren't too bad to do. I'm just looking here, it looks a little bit low on this corner. I just hope it's not a broken spring. I can't really see properly up there. I can't see properly, so I'll have to get the thing up onto the lift. Obviously it needs checked anyway, so yeah, that's to do. Switch the camera around. This Reynolds, which I was telling you about, I wanted to show you how bad the play was on it, on the front ball joints and that. Anyways, the back shock has burst on it, so I've got that off. It was a bit puzzling because up there I thought that it you had to drop the whole boot floor and everything, but as it happens, you can get to it the bolt from inside of the boot floor, so which is like just like a plastic thing. So that's all right. Got that off now, ready to stop. Oh, these are damn expensive, these shockers. Over £100, original quality ones, but even so, super expensive. I want to show you on the front what we've done. This track rod end at the front here was absolutely knackered. At the point the wheel was just about to fall off. The bottom ball joint had slight play in it, but you couldn't even feel that because the track rod was so bad. So I did the track rod, then felt it, and there was still slight play in this bottom one, so that got changed. And this bottom arm at this side was actually falling out, literally falling out. It's so dangerous to be on the road, to be quite honest. So that's been done using all original quality TRW parts. Obviously TRW track rod end, I've chucked the box with the one, and TRW bottom ball joints, and believe me, these things are absolutely shot. And this is what I tell you about with these Reynolds. Now what we normally do, which I have actually got in stock, is I would just change the whole arm because they're looking a bit rusty, which I've got here, but they'll only do them in a crap quality. I'm not really that keen of them. Optimal, they call them OE and all the rest of it, but until I actually see a car leaving a factory with an optimal part on, like I do with TRW and Lemforda, then I'll say okay. Until then, I won't be saying that. So these are original Reynolds ones, and you can see the Reynolds logo on them, and unfortunately I've put them on. I wanted to just show that you had the little Diamond of Doom symbol on the other ones because they were just genuine Reynolds parts, because that's what these generally are, genuine Reynolds parts, just with all the branding taken off them. They're exactly the same. So these are the same as what the car would leave the factory with. Normally we would change the whole arm, but we've assessed this, it looks worse than it is, it's fine. But these are a right pain in the arse to change because you've got to like get right in above the drive shafts, anti-roll bars. They're just the right pain, where there's absolutely nothing wrong with this arm. This one was a bit corroded. So the only problem is they're like rivets, which I've put on here. They're not just nuts and bolts. These are them here, which I've had to grind off. That's them there. And they're like the heads of them. so like little pennies. But unfortunately, they are absolutely seized into the arm. So what we use is an air chisel. So you grind them off, and then you use the air chisel to bray the rest of the rivet out. And then obviously put them in, done my usual, greased all them up. They've already had the aluminium grease on when they've gone on, as well as obviously the top of the bottom ball joint and all the rest of it. So, you know, as usual, done properly. So now there's absolutely no play. But what I wish I could have done if I had time was to show you the play in these wheels. Like I've said with these Reynolds, just be so damn careful with the things that deteriorate so badly, and the suspension components are just not very robust whatsoever. And even more scarily, the commercial range of Reynolds, like vans and trucks, use more or less car components, unlike that Sprinter out there where they use proper like heavy duty things. When these ball joints not go on these Reynolds, they really do go, and you can find yourself in a nasty accident when, I'm not joking, like joking aside, your wheel actually falls off and you just lose complete control of the vehicle, obviously. So that's done. Nice 2 new bottom ball joints. Track rod end, just going to have to go and get the 4-wheel alignment done. I'm just on with the shocker now, going to get the new one put into place. So we can see that's burst everywhere. It was leaking oil everywhere the other day. This side's not, it must have been replaced, nowhere near as bad. But you know, you see what we do with the wax oil, we coat the bottom of them because it always go. Why didn't the person who fitted that not just do it? Why didn't they not just put a bit of grease on here? It's too much to ask for most garages these days, isn't it? Because they just want the job in, out, money in their pocket, couldn't care less about anything else. That's not the way I work, or I will ever work, or I wouldn't work for somewhere if they want us to do that. Simple as that. The ML, I can see the little black dots around it. Just again, I've got to really, the best way with this would be to fully grind it down and redo it. But I'm not doing that because there'll be an out left of them. If I start taking any electronic or pressurized air systems to this, it will just fall to bits. So just the major, you might think, well, why have you done there and not there and all the rest of it? These were just the main ones where they were like kind of like filling with like moisture. So I've just kind of took the heads off them, cure rusted them. That's why they look black. And all I'm going to do is just repaint them. You can just see the little black dots around. And all I'm going to do is just go slip round that one with some silver hammerite, all 4 arches, and it'll do for it just stand on the winter. It'll probably just need another little tidy up, come the spring when it comes out of hibernation again. As well as putting this stuff in, I generally don't think there's nothing major wrong with it, but I haven't even had time to put that in yet. It says to put it in when it's warm and run it. So do that, and I'm just going to spray a little bit of grease underneath around the chassis, just to give it another little top up, just to help it over the winter. But all as and when I just get 5 minutes, which at the minute is few and far between when I get free time. So I'm going to crack on, get this shocker done, and get on shufting things round. So I'll catch you probably, there's not even any point in showing you this shocker when it's in place. All you're going to see is that shocker on the floor in place. But it'll be done, and this one can be on its way. Catch you tomorrow on Wednesday's vlog, guys. Right, that's the end of Tuesday. I did say I'd catch you on Wednesday, but it wasn't. I decided to crack on, got rid of that Reynolds, all done. I was going to show you, but the customer turned up. We've just had a massive torrential downpour, as you can see, and she turned up and she was absolutely bloody soaked. She had to get changed in the office with the dogs. I honestly didn't have time to sort on them, but obviously that's all the old bits off it that you've seen them. I just wanted to show you, because I quickly mentioned about this Arona, whatever you want to call this thing. Arona, I think that's how you say it. It's a 69 plate car. They've gotten it from a reputable car dealership. It says there you go. And obviously I just thought when I was doing the MOT, I was obviously part of the MOT is you check the seal on the fuel cap. It's part of like the procedure of the MOT. And I was like, what's all this? Little bits of red paint. And I'm annoyed now because of this rain. Obviously it's just absolutely downpoured. You can't see, but you can see clear as day on there where it's had a very poor paint job done, and you can see all around there. I wish I'll get a bit of paper and I'll show you. There, so we've dried it off. So obviously you can see all around there, all of that. In fact, they've even blocked the drainer, which I'm going to get the high pressure air now and unblock that with paint flakes all around there. You can see where they've had all the tape. You can see it all down there, the overspray. When you get a close look here, it's terrible. I don't know if that camera's picking it up. All the paint is still along the trim. There you see, they haven't even masked it off properly. You can see where it stops there. Obviously you can see there where they've sprayed it. Terrible job that. I would have been getting back to them and telling them to get it done again properly, or give us my money back and get another car. There's your dealerships for you. 69 plate car last year, that would have been, it's got to be more than 20 grand. So there you go. That's what level of quality of work when you ask these so-called dealerships. Because I bet you these people didn't even ask that. It'll have just been like that when it come in. It'll have been marked 1-year-old car, sold it onto these. Right now, it wouldn't have been one, the car's 3. So yeah, it would have been like just out of its warranty. And basically that's what they've done, is they've brought it in, get it prepped, done the paint, put it up on the forecourt. And these people who own this car, they haven't got the foggiest idea about cars. So yeah, I don't know whether to mention it to them. I may not, because there's probably absolutely nothing they can do. So we'll leave that one there, and I'll catch you on Wednesday's vlog. Hello and welcome back to Wednesday's vlog. We're almost, past 12 o'clock into the day. I normally like to do a bit of a morning update for you. Haven't had time. So, what we've been up to. My suspicions yesterday, which I told you with that Focus, were right. A lot of people come in and say, oh, my car's fine. And when you're a mechanic, I just looked at that car. I wasn't specifically looking at it when I was walking. I just walked past it, and straight away I knew it would have broken springs. It's just, when you know, you know. This guy probably thought there was nothing wrong with his car. The minute I drove it in, you could hear it all clunking and creaking. But that just shows you what the point of an MOT is. It's, this guy's been driving around with broken springs for God knows how long. So I'll just do a quick update. What I've done. First up, the ML. Really, I've just touched them in. In fact, there's a few little bits I'm not too happy with. I'm going to go over again. I've just repainted them and put a bit of wax on. Nothing to see, nothing special. But I think what I want to do, the bits where I've grounded down quite a lot, just do another little touch up on them, just to keep them right. And no, I haven't waxed the bits. I'm going to do that too. So that's that. Spray a little bit of me like undersealy stuff underneath, and that's going home out the way. And I need to bring the Sprinter back to check for leaks, because I took it for a drive last night. Check for leaks on it, and the tyres for that should be in maybe later on today, if not tomorrow morning. And that's that out the way, because that's been sat around all week. These are the parts which have come in for this. Obviously, as you all know, original equipment such stuff. It's SNR, which is original equipment, strut top units, and then you've got, as you all know, genuine Lemforder drop links, which I'm surprised they could manage, because the Euro parts at the moment are supplying absolute garbage. So I'm surprised for an everyday car, which they struggle to get good parts for. I'm surprised they've managed to get everything in order there. So for once, thumbs up to them, but that's the only thumbs up they get at the moment. So there's your broken springs. Just thought I'd show you. You see that one there broken? I'm sure the other one was collapsed onto itself a lot more. In fact, on this one, you can see it's actually there. There's the broken piece there. So common on these Focuses, but luckily, unlike the old Focus, they've got a nice big cup underneath, so therefore they don't drop down and rip all your brake lines and stab into your tyre. Because as you can imagine, if you're doing 70 mile an hour and that stabs into your tyre, which they do, I think there's been a lot of probably fatalities actually involved through these springs broken, causing blowouts at high speed, but just never actually kind of investigated properly. This has been going on for years. So there's them two. As you can see, the strut tops are really inaccessible on these. You've got to, I thought you had to take the wipers off, but you don't. But they're awkward. So when you've got all these things stripped down, I think we've saved the drop links, have we? They'll look quick. So I saved the drop links. They'll not need done, but you will have to order them in just in case. But you see it's all stripped. But it would be rather stupid to have it all stripped down and put the old strut tops on, then you spend all that time and effort. As you can see, Fords, I absolutely hate them. I mean, does this Nissan got the idea? Yeah, you see this Nissan has got 2 bolts, nut and bolts. So you just take the nut and bolts off, and then your strut is parted from the hub. But Ford and VW have this absolutely ridiculous idea. I can't believe that's still in use to this day, where they go in via a shaft, and you've got to go pulling all the arm down and everything to get it out. Just a ridiculous idea for nothing. I would like somebody to actually tell me the difference between that system and this system. it's no point, so get rid of that idea. In fact, the real pigs are them, like the Mondeos and stuff. They are terrible because they're a much bigger, heavier spring, and obviously all that car's rusted to death. So yeah, so we'll be putting 2 new strut top bearings on these just as precaution. I know you could save them, but if you spend all that time building it back up and it starts clunking, creaking, you've got to do it all again. And normally you wouldn't be able to charge the customer because they would say you haven't done the job right. So do it right once, don't do it again. That's the golden rule. So that's this one. We've got another one in. That had this is a very common problem with this shape of Focus. The front springs break on them. This come in last year and had exactly the same problem. 2 front springs broken. This is the 1500 diesel. I think it's the 15. It might be the 16, but I think this is the 1500 diesel. I'm not looking like that tyre. I'm going to actually stick a bit of pressure into there because that looks a bit low. I'm taking this for MOT now. It's been checked over this morning. Yeah, it's what they call the Eco Nectic or whatever crap they say, but basically it's a Citroen Peugeot 1.6 or 1.5. I'm not sure. Do a reg check if you just want to find out. I'm sure this is the 15, possibly it's one of the first of the 15s made. Pretty uninteresting, basic kind of spec thing. Good cars, I'm not going to take that away, but no cruise control or nothing like that, so it's just like probably a Z-Tech or whatever the class it has. So that's that simple thing. Just check over, nothing to report, nothing wrong with it apart from that tyre, which I'm obviously going to put some pressure into it now. That's that done. In fact, I'm taking that, I'm going to MOT that now in the next half an hour. And this old beast used to be mine many years ago. She's certainly looking hard up now, but still a good car. But I think it's got like 200 and I don't know if the mileage displays all the time on these. No, it doesn't. It's got like something like 210,000 mile on now. Front subframe was completely rotted out on it. That I renewed with the one off a car with 20,000 mile, believe it or not. And it's got a slight oil leak, so it's keeping that subframe nicely protected from the elements. So it's got like an almost new front subframe. The guy, he's got like a set of alloys and a set of steels. The alloys have got good tyres, some good tyres on, and he keeps like swapping them round when they wear out. So he's got 1 alloy and 4 steels. By the way, it's not part of the test, because if you look, as long as they are 205, 55, 16, and these ones are 205, 55, 16, as long as they're the same size, it doesn't matter about the wheels. As long as they fit securely and they're not damaged, it doesn't matter. But I will say it looks bloody awful. For the sake of just sticking the steels on and putting some nice wheel trims on, or there we go, I've got a bird of prey there. Some guy's got it. We've got some kind of wheel trims or just nice alloys on. Would be nice to have on. So sorry, a bit of interruption. I was just actually talking to that guy. I see him the odd time. He's got all these massive birds of prey, and he takes them up into where you've seen me walk the dogs, and they do a bit of hunting. I said something hawk. I can't remember what he said. Oh, funny name. But he said that's a female one, and he said it's very temperamental. And I goes, aye, female one, especially when it gets to close. And I tell you, that's like all women, isn't it? Joking. If any women's watching this, but yeah, it was interesting, just randomly videoing a Mondeo and some mad bird of prey over there. I was going to get him to come over, but I didn't want to stick a camera on his face. But yeah, beautiful bird that. In fact, he's got it just over there. I think he'll be letting it fly. I don't know if I can zoom in or not, but it's one hell of a beautiful animal, stunning. I went to White House Farm. My son, he had all the big barn owls landing on his arm and everything. He's fearless with stuff like that. Even me, I'll be a little bit relentless to put my arm out with that, because when them things dig their claws in, by God, they've got a hell of a grip. Probably rip your arm off. So yeah, anyways, back to cars. Yeah, there'd be my old beast back in the day, but she's getting hard up. I think she'll get another MOT out of it in a couple of... He will get a MOT out of it in a couple of months, but... if he decides to get something else and not bother, I may make him a scrap price offer for it. Doesn't actually need much for a test. It's just getting tatty a bit, that's all. I mean, it's got all brand new calipers and brakes on underneath this. I'm sure the front shows that as well. Yeah, see? Oh, no, not that one. I think it's the back brakes are brand new. 2 back calipers, discs and pads. I'm sure the fronts were done, the discs and pads, not long ago. It's got new front springs, shockers, back springs are new. new exhaust. That's all it's been in for, just have the exhaust welded, because the exhausts on these Mondeos are crap. So that's been done. You never know, this might be another one coming back on the channel. Would probably suit me perfectly. I'll have to sort them wheels out. It'd be perfect just to bang the dogs in and just have a cheap diesel runner. And I think it's the 115 brake one. I think it's a slightly cheaper tax band as well. It's a 5-speed box, which is the better one. I've done a few little modifications to this one over the years. The 5-speed cruise control and everything, even though it's bottom of the range. I may be tempted if you decide. The only thing is, if you trade it into some of these garages, they offer you like a minimum 500 quid part X, because they're making an absolute mint on the car that you're buying off them anyway. So I wouldn't be paying 500 quid for it, but we'll see. You might just say, look, just get it through another test, spend whatever needs done, and keep it for another year. So we shall see. So anyways, I want to crack on with this work, get on, and I'll catch you soon. I'll do an update this afternoon. Sorry, I've just realised I forgot to add this in. This Almira, I picked this up for one of my customers 2 or 3 years ago, and he's loved it ever since. I quite like the plate on it as well, Northern Ireland Irish plate. She looks a bit hard up actually, but underneath, really good nick. Really for the MOT, the only advisories are going to be a bit perished on the back tyres, which they're not bad, and the number plates are getting a bit deteriorated, but you can, as you can see, everybody can see, you can read those letters perfectly fine. It's just getting a bit grubby, that's all. There's a little bit here which I'm going to secure into place a bit better, but yeah, tidy little car. They're good, these Almiras. I don't think it's even got many miles on. It's 1500 petrol. It's as rough as you like, but you know, it is what it is. And this back number plate is perfectly readable, but when you look at it in real time, it's just getting a little bit sort of opaque. But bar that is in for test. But if you look at these arches and everything, no rot whatsoever. I have got a little bit of an itch that I want to scratch. I want one of these when they come, because these have the 2.2 diesel, what's in the X-Trails, and all the big Nissans. These little 1500 petrol ones are just here or there. I probably wouldn't have one. But if I seen one of these cheap enough with low mileage on, either I prefer the pre-facelift to this. These have got like the slightly, I think this is like an 04 and 05, something like that. I don't know because of that. They've got a slightly different front end. I'm not keen. They did the earlier ones of these. I think they ran up to about 02, 03 with the more glass kind of angled headlights. If I could get one of these with a 2.2 diesel, not the DCI, the DI, that's something I would like to pick up, because they absolutely fly and they do good miles per gallon, but they're very crammed in under the bonnet. But that, yeah, this is just in for MOT, just giving it a check over. Forgot to include that, nothing interesting, nothing to do. We've just put a bit of wax oil and grease underneath, adjusted a few things, going to sort that bumper, and that's it really. That's all that one is in for. The number plates, I'll probably tell them get a new set of plates for next year, because they'll probably be getting past the point for that, but that's not big money. So yeah, catch you soon. I knew I forgot to add something in. Right, well, I'm back, second part of Wednesday. I'm not sure how much much more I'm going to get in. I have got a few developments, so I'm just checking to see if you're watching this. I've been recommended this guy a while ago, who comes out and does like remapping, EGR deletes, AdBlue deletes, which a lot of, as you know, a lot of people have problems with these things, and they actually cost an absolute fortune to rectify. And I mean, this is for off-road use only, of course. I have to make that disclaimer, but it's not me doing it, and it's a worldwide company doing this. So what I'm saying is, on Wednesday next week, I'm going to be getting 2 jobs done, a remap and AdBlue delete on a Transit, and a remap and EGR delete on the Cougar that you've seen us had in a few weeks ago, because the EGR on that has actually cleared itself up. So it's only if they stick fully open, you can't delete them, where this one sorted itself out, it's closed. So when they deactivate it, it stays closed, and that's it, end of story. I'm debating getting the A6 done, we shall see. I don't know, I don't really want to spend too much money, but I am quite keen to the car. The only downside isn't I kind of get the dogs in, but as we know, I've got this ML, which is on the road 6 months of the year, so it is a bit awkward over the winter. But when it's that cold over the winter anyways, I don't tend to take the dogs far, especially when I'm on my own and I've got 2 kids. It's not worth it, and there's a lot of theft for dogs around here as well. So really the only time where I ever take the dogs is when it's me and Holly. and have her car to use anyway. So to be honest, I don't really need it, and I've always got space. Like I said, once this has got to storage, I've only got one car on the road, which is the A6, so I've got space to get something else. If I pick up a cheap banger or something like that, happy days. But that's what I might get it done. I'm debating. I think it's got 180 brake, and he sent us the figures. I think it'll goes up to 210, but it's the Newton meters of torque. I can't remember, but they are the ones I want for that, because that's where the emissions on them that turn the torque down to get the better emissions. But with this thing, it's a 06 plate car. It's got no DPF or anything, so I'm debating getting the EGR delete and remap stage 1. Obviously the Cougar and the Transit. The Transit's on a countdown timer. Then nothing will bother them things for the AdBlue. So that's just a nice thing. You just switch it off and forget about it. You never need to put it in again. It does not affect the emissions for the MOT whatsoever. So there's nothing to see. It's all software. It's not like for us as MOT testers, you need to inspect the EGR valve that it hasn't been tampered with. Nothing gets touched. It's the car's computer is told to forget about it, to switch it off. So it's not part of any MOT, any legal thing. You get stopped off VOSA, whoever. There's nothing can be done. It's all there and present and correct. Nothing's been removed. So I haven't met this guy face to face. I've mentioned I do a YouTube channel. If he wants us to do a quick, I'm not going to shove the camera on his face while he's working on the computer, but I am going to. I think I'll promote him. See what his work quality's like. I've been actually recommended from him from quite a few people. Actually, a lad who works at Stakeford Tyres, he can't recommend him high enough, and I've went through all his reviews, and he seems to be a top bloke, knows what he's doing. So we'll see that on Wednesday next week, just to let you know. And obviously, if any of you are interested, I can arrange to have it done here at the garage, where as you not want it maybe done at your car park at work or on your driveway. It's nicer for him to work in an environment like this, so if it's raining or whatever and we're not too busy, he can bring the vehicle and do it in the garage, you know. But it's mostly on laptop, so he'll be sat in the car. But we'll see. That's just some content that's coming up, just to give you a bit of a taster for next week. Right, on to what I'll show you, this Focus, just to show you that doing front springs are not just, a lot of people just expect something to be 2 minutes. You've got all this nonsense with we haven't had to take the wipers off, but they're all under here, you see. And there's nothing really to see in here either, but there's the nice new shiny springs. And I just wanted to show you, again, just quickly on these cars, if you buy these Focuses, get the 1600 engine, they're great. They're absolutely no bother. Just avoid the EcoBoosts and these ones, they're crap. This is the one you want. They're not particularly powerful, they're not particularly good on fuel, but they will run forever. And this is the one with the variable valve timing, bit more extra poke on them. Just good engines. If you just want a basic car, one of these in a state form with this engine in, great. The diesels, all Citroen Peugeot, very complex. These all day long, 1600. The 18 and 2 litres, bit more temperamental. Yes, they've got a timing belt, but it's 100,000 mile 10 year. They're never big issues anyway. So yeah, cracking cars these. Just the front springs seem to be renowned for going. This is what my dad was showing us with these. The front springs, obviously you can see both of them. Like I showed you before, both of them broken. But these strut top bearings are a bit funny. I don't know how I can replicate this with one hand, but see that little nipple at the top there? That has to line up exactly, because if you look at it, it's tapered. I don't know if you can see it on the angle of that, it's tapered. So when you're fitting them, it's very important not to rush and to line up that with there, and that keeps it at the right angle, otherwise it'll not be straight for this part fitting up at the top. But as you can see how much work's involved. Yes, these are actually not bad, but at the end of the day, it's a 2011 plate car, it's over 10-year-old, and if you once you disturb these things and fit new springs to them, and they start creaking and croaking on when they're turning the steering, you're the first port of call. It's straight away the garage's fault. It's ever since you touched my car, ever since you changed the spring, it's making this noise. So then you've got to warrant some form of warranty, and then strip it all back down, all this work again, sticking 2 parts on. So what we've saved the drop links, they're going back, so there's quite a bit of money saved. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. 2 new springs, 2 new strut top bearings, happy days. That's them now finished, hopefully for a good few years. And I say a few years, I don't know what on earth I'm making springs out of these days. They're genuine springs broken. We fit our almost genuine springs. They seem to sometimes go, so I put it down to the roads, the quality they're making them with, or the design or something. So, as you've seen even with that Audi, 300 and odd quid for 2 springs, it's ridiculous. So, this is back together, get this out the way. I've MOT other Focus, that's ready to go. And that Almira over there, that needs MOT, that's ready to go. And that's just ready to pick up, it's had the exhaust welded, so there we go. I'm just, obviously it's starting to rain, which I didn't want it to do. Just going to touch up a few last little bits on this, grease a few bits, and then go and swap that for the Sprinter van. That's back here. Get the tyres tomorrow morning. That's out our way. I think there's someone else coming in, somebody's brakes or something like that. Had the usual, got an MOT booked in tomorrow, and a phone call at 12 o'clock saying the brakes are grinding and all this, that and the other. As if the brakes have just started grinding today. You know, why people don't just inform with these things when they booked it in. Because I can guarantee they won't have just magically started grating today, the day before it's in for MOT. And as you see, while they're busy, I booked them in for an MOT with the hope it doesn't need much. So that's probably going to cause problems now tomorrow. As well as this other car of somebody's that's getting dropped in as well with a similar thing, grinding brakes. So, see what turns up. I might do a bit later on, but up to now, it's just going to be getting all these last bits finished, cars moved about, and hopefully get underway. But I'll catch you later. If not, it'll be on tomorrow's vlog on Thursday. Just a quick update, it's 6:30. It's not actually work as such, but that's the Almira done. I just wanted to show you this old beast. As grotty as it looks on the outside, which you'll all have seen, the arches. So I'll show you how not bad it is underneath that. What I've done is I've just been undercoated it. I had some grease I was going to use on me Audi, but I haven't actually used it, so I've put it on this. All I've done is just given it a bit coating underneath for when it's going to stand. It's not going to get no salt on it, because it's not going to be on the road. But just to prevent a bit of the damp, I've just gone around underneath. But when you get a look at the gauge of the chassis on this thing, like compared to my L200 in a it's on another level, this thing. Proper torsion bars. It's really, really heavy. I mean, you look at that prop. It's a proper heavy-duty bit of kit, this thing. Full independent rear suspension. But, yeah, that's it all cut. So that's all I'm doing with it, really. That now this is done, it's going into storage probably next week. And hopefully it'll survive. So that's it all done. Just a few little bits I want to do. I want to get it off the lift. But yeah, it's actually fared quite well. To say it's done a full, I mean, it's not really had any weather this summer, but yeah, surface rust, yeah, but the chassis itself is in really good nick. I'm quite happy. Still got a lot more years left in it, this old beast. So there we go. Gonna leave that there. Just thought I'd show you that one. So there we go. These lights don't do very good with the camera. But yeah, there we go. I'll catch you on Thursday morning. Welcome to Thursday's vlog, guys. This is not the way I intended having to film today, but as you can see, I'm at home. As this video would have went, like the last video you'll have seen last night when I was at the garage and I just showed you around the bottom of the ML that I had sprayed the stuff, all good. Walked home in the rain, albeit. I felt fine. I got home and within 10 minutes, some kind of sickness bug struck us. I hadn't, to be honest, we were that busy yesterday. I didn't really eat anything. I didn't actually have more than like some chocolate digestives, packet of Haribo. Didn't really eat much for my dinner, so I can't blame this of what I've had for my dinner because I didn't have any. But yeah, so left the garage as you seen on the video. Felt fine. Walked home, albeit in the rain. Felt fine, but within being home for 10 minutes, bang, like that. Sickness and diarrhea all night, and it's absolutely wiped me out. I don't even know what time it is now. I think it's something like 1:30, 2 o'clock. And to be honest, I feel shit. I've got a thumping bad head. I've managed to get some food downers. I've managed to drink. I mean, I haven't been too bad this morning, but last night, it was my partner actually slept in a different room. So yeah, that's definitely a sickness bug going round, and by God, normally you start to feel your stomach going a bit or whatever, but with this, it just went from being perfectly fine to downhill within 10 minutes. So yeah, I've had half a day off, and to be honest, I'm only doing a few things today, so I'm going to quickly show you. Number one, we'll open the front door. This needs to be done because the lad who owns this van has been off for a week, and he's back. He's back now, but he starts work tomorrow. So you obviously see that the Sprinter, them front tyres have just come in this morning. So I'm going to attempt to go up there to get the tyres done on that. Once they're done, he just lives up the top of the street. I'll drop his keys off. That's the van done. I'm going to quickly do a job on this before I leave, which I'll show you now when I can find the keys. Is the boot struts on it. It's doing my head in. You open the boot and it just stops like that. And they don't go properly. Even then, it struggles to go. The only reason it's actually folding back is because the car is on an incline. So, I've bought some eBay specials. The grand sum of £12. But do you know what it is? I ain't paying £40 a piece from Audi for them. And they look pretty much right. So I'm equipped with the complete wrong tools because I'm at home. An electrician screwdriver. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop one off and switch them over. I'm just going to obviously take these out the bag now, do this, and I'll get back to you. Right then, so that's it out the bag. What I like to do with these is just put a little bit of grease just in each of the little ball joints. They normally do come pre-filled. There is some kind of like silicone grease in there. So we'll take it across, and as you've seen with the screwdriver, you just simply lift those little spring clips back, which I'll demonstrate to you on the other one. Then when you've done it, you just obviously remember which way they come off, so naturally the piston facing down. And then it's dead easy, you just pop them on, as that's why you want the grease on, because it's going metal onto metal, like a ball joint. So on there, click, job done. And at the bottom one, bring it down a bit. Clip, there we go, as I splash a bit of grease onto my car. So there we go, one done. Just do the complete same on the other side. I'll show you, but it's very difficult with one hand. So what you do is you just prise back. You've probably done these before. You just prise them back with a screwdriver like that, so they're just slightly off, and they take a little bit of a pull to get them off sometimes like that. And then since I've moved it, that one's just popped back off, so I'll obviously just get the screwdriver, re-pop the spring off, and I'll show you what it's like when we've got it all back together. So then there we go. I just need to rub off a bit of this grease that's getting in the way there. But they're obviously that's the bags, where they're the two old ones there. Saved us nearly 80 quid. And let's see what they're like. Pull it down. Now obviously straight away feel there's a lot more resistance on that. So now, pop it up. Oh, it's got some force. Yeah, it's definitely got some force. So obviously, what I'm not going to do is just let it like ram up like that. Obviously it is because the car, this is quite an incline, but now, naturally, when you lift it, I like to just hold it anyway, and now it's kept firmly in place, not keep falling down or whatever. So yeah, happy enough with that. Once again, there we go, happy days. I think you'll agree, that's about £12 or something. Well spent. I have got to just quickly, I've been sitting this morning while I've not been well, kind of going through a few videos. I have actually got 2 Project A6 videos ready to upload, but I'm not going to mention, because if I mention what I've done on them, spoiling the videos. I have got those. One's definitely ready to go, the other will be ready soon. It's just a case of editing them up. So I have done a lot of more work to that car, and you'll probably be wondering what's been done, so there'll be a video coming soon for that. So, there may be a development tonight, I don't know if it's happening, but my old Volvo S80, might be coming back to one of my customers. There might be a little development happening, an all-round deal, but we don't know yet, so I'm not going to say too much, because the 2 guys, one of them is my customer, who I've had in the garage this week, and the other one is the guy who owns the Volvo, who bought the S80 off us, are supposed to be meeting tonight at my house, because the guy was considering selling the S80 because he needs an estate car or a hatchback, and one of my customers is after a new car. So I just thought, well, give that guy a message, be the middleman, get his car sold for him, and I might be picking up another project, but I don't know. Not getting too much into that. I feel like shit, and to be quite honest, if either one of them decide not to want to turn up or hum and haw about anything, I'm going to leave it, because I can't be bothered. I'd much rather be sat in the house tonight, but we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm not going to add much more to the day's vlog. I'm going to go and get these tyres on the van. That's a little job done to the A6, which I'm pleased I'm getting sorted. I have got some other bits coming for it, which I may show you on Friday's vlog. The sat-nav DVD went a bit funny, and the guy who supplies them is absolutely fantastic. He's just showed me all these on here, what to do with it. So happy days, actually. I'm quite pleased. He sent us a disc for free, and I'm going to stick a DVD cleaning kit in. You know, the old-fashioned discs we used to use. And hopefully that'll get it works fine. It's just the odd time it says reinsert disc, but it'll just be all the dust inside on the laser. So yeah, so that's that, and I'll get back to you on tomorrow on Friday's vlog. I am gonna, if I feel up to it, because I feel sorry for the two dogs that are out here. I'll quickly show you them. There's the pup sitting chewing something, and Harvey's wandering around over there. Just giving them a quick bit of air this afternoon, and as soon as I get back with the van, I'm going to attempt, if I feel okay, to have a walk down to the garage, just check everything's okay with my dad, and head back home. So I'll catch you on, if there's anything going on at the garage, I'll add it in. If not, I'll catch you on Friday, guys. Right guys, welcome back to Friday's vlog. I'm going to keep this one short because I'm going to try and make this into a full one video this week. So just quickly on to show you Ford car. I mentioned this is a Fiat 500, by the way. These back axles tend to snap on these on here. It's not actually, well, it is the axle, but it's like the spring cups on them. This had two rear broken springs, so they've just been done, which are down there, and then obviously greased up to prevent all of this rotten carry on. But this is in for MOT. All that it really required was rear springs. Obviously, with me being off yesterday, that Audi was in, which was a nightmare of a job. That had the two springs, you know, the springs that were 350 quid. So that was them done there somewhere down there. That's them there. And obviously there was other stuff in yesterday that I mentioned, which obviously I had to, obviously that won't be on the film. So I'll quickly show you what else we've got, and I'm going to leave it there actually. I'll show you this glow plug for an Astra. The Vauxhalls that I tell you with the 2-litre Fiat engine, like the Insignias, the Astras. These glow plugs with the sensor built into them, I've showed you this before. These are, I think they're over, I think about 130, 140 pounds, something like that. Somewhere in the region of that. It's ridiculous. And this particular one has 4. Some of them have 3 regular glow plugs and one of these pressure sensor ones. Some have 2, some have 3, and others have 4. And this unfortunate one has had 4, and I think they've already had 2 of them done. But for that kind of money, you can't just go ahead and change all of them. Crikey, that would be insane amounts of money. So that's coming in this afternoon to be done. That's for next week, them parts there. So yeah, so that's this. I'll just show you outside. That was the only other thing that is coming in today. And I'll just show you what else is in, which we're bringing in now, is this RAV4. This is in for service and MOT. But these are quite an alright car, actually. I don't know what mark these are. They're like in the middle. It's right before they changed the shape, and they did a few little tweaks to them. So they do look like quite an alright car, actually. But unfortunately, with these, what I will say, this has got what you call the 2AD engine in, which is your 2.2 D4D. And I'll just open the bonnet. I used to love them engines on these. I mean, this is a nice spec one. It's got the heated seats, cruise control, all the bits you want. It's still got, like, you know, like the nice 4-wheel drivey bits on it, the steps, the half leather, and all the rest of it. It is nice. And obviously the outward opening door, but unfortunately they've got rid of the spare wheel on the back. I know it's old school, but I still like the spare wheel on the back. But you know, you've got your outwards opening back door. It is handy for getting things in, but there can be a hindrance, like in car parks where somebody's parked close to you. So it's a bit of a catch-22. You either love them kind of doors or you hate them. I personally don't mind them at all. But the biggest thing with these, what put me off, and this is advice to any of you out there, any of you want to buy any Toyota, regardless of what it is, if it's got the 2.2 D4D, I'll just open the bonnet. If it's got the 2.2 D4D, known as the 2AD engine, basically just look on the logbook. If it's a 2.2 and it's a D4D, it's this engine. They suffer very, very badly from timing head gaskets going, but this is where I was saying that. But because they're not a belt driven, they're chain driven. A lot of these actually involve, I think, in the Avensis and the Corollas, engine out jobs. In Toyota even state, when you take the heads off these, they can't be machined, as in skimmed. So that's like, you have to put a whole new head on. And the only telltale way, they don't chuck out water, they don't puff out smoke, they don't mix oil and water, they don't overheat. We used to have one as a works car. It was a Corolla Verso, and I've had a few of them. The T180s, they did it like almost a 200 brake horsepower version of this engine, and they all suffer badly from it. All that they do is this is your little coolant bottle. They never have they have radiator caps under here, but forget them. What they do is they just ever so slightly pressurise the coolant system, but not a lot. And the only way you can tell is this is your overflow pipe here, and if you just look like back from there, if it's got like white splatters and pink splatters in this area, then you know that the head gasket is starting to go. But mainly on the Corollas and the Corolla Verso, the little pot sits here and there's a little pipe, and if you look on the engine, you know, in the winter when you've got like salt coming off the roads, it just looks like little white splatters of salt, but that's actually the coolant starting to come out. The Lexus IS, whatever they are, like the saloony kind of car, Mondeo size thing, they use this engine in all their range. And they're the same. The Avensis has the bottle down here, and you just need to look on the overflow. Normally they have like a little pipe on, and if you can see, I mean, yes, a little tiny bit's fine, but if you can see bits of it showing that it's like pressurising and coming out, but it's very, very low pressure that they start to go. So I just thought I would let you know that one. Be careful, be very, very careful, and it's very, very common regardless of mileage, which has scared me off. Loads of them, I've seen loads of old Avensis estates and stuff I would love to own, but unless it's scrap money, I don't buy them, guys, not anymore. And we've had it, and we've had a garage car. I've had 3 various Toyotas, and they've all had that same head gasket issue, so be very careful if you're looking for a cheap car. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up because I want to try and get this done. There's nothing really more to show. All I'm doing on that is a service, and underneath it's been all wax oiled and everything. It's in good nick. I would show you, but to be quite honest, guys, I still don't feel 100%, and I can't be asked to sit and edit 2 videos. I just want to get this one rendered now, get it uploaded and be done. And if I can keep this bit of video here under 9 minutes, it keeps it under the hour mark. And for some reason my app does not like to render anything, I don't know why, over an hour. So sorry I'm cutting this short. I don't feel the best. I'm actually not that pale. It's the fluorescent light in here. I'm going to leave it there, guys, and just to let you know, on Sunday I'm getting a new project. I'll give you a clue. That car's been in the garage over the last 2 weeks. Have a guess what it is. I'm not giving you any clues whatsoever, but I'm getting another project on Sunday, and I might do a reveal of that. And I've also got an Audi A6 video coming, update project A6 of some of the work I've done to that as well. So sorry to cut it short. I hope you guys are well. I hope you have a good weekend. We're going to get this sorted, go to the cafe, have a dinner hopefully at a reasonable time, if I can manage to eat much. And I've got my son tonight anyway, so again, that's another reason I don't want to be sitting faffing, editing, because I want to spend some time with the family. Because again, like I mentioned, my partner on Saturday is away out with baby shower, so it's yet another weekend where we have no time together whatsoever. So, catch you soon. Sorry to repeat myself. Have a good weekend. Please, if you've enjoyed these, hit the like button. Please leave a comment, it's what it's there for. And if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you on next week's vlog. Bye.